Warning. Warning. Welcome to At Your Own Risk.
Hey guys, welcome to At Your Own Risk. This is Derek here from iJuicy60, and today is A.Y.O.R episode number 2. And this episode is going to be what to expect from CES 2013. It's going on this week in Las Vegas. And I'm not going to talk about individual products I'm looking for. I'm just going to be talking about each individual section of product that's going to be announced and just what I think about it. I don't know if any of the other staff members and the other shows are going to be covering CES 2013 in more detail, but I thought since CES was this week, I thought it might be a good idea just to celebrate it and just give you guys just a little taste of what you're going to see across the internet, or if you read some tech blogs over the weekend, just what to expect to see. So as always, the source that I'm using down in the description, and this source is from the good old conservative propaganda that I like to call Fox News. So let's get started. So the first thing that they say is that they're just this is not a conference that Apple or Google will be there. That's kind of a given. Apple or Google does not like to do CES 13. They'd rather do their own press conferences, and I don't blame them because their brands are probably much bigger, much more appealing to a lot more people to have their own and rely on another trade show. So it kind of makes sense for Apple and Google to do their own thing, but which makes sense. But what's news to me is I don't remember this I don't remember last year CES 2012 being the last year for Microsoft. So it says here that Microsoft won't have its own booth, which is surprising because Microsoft, as long as I know it, has done its own booth for a while, and this is the first time in years since it hasn't done one. So very interesting to me. I don't know if they're gonna do their own things now like Apple and Google, or if they're gonna do they're gonna do a much larger trade show that we just don't know about yet. Either way, Microsoft doesn't have their own booth. But the International Consumer Electronics Show, it runs from January 8th to the 11th, so probably by the time you're watching this, it probably already started. It's one of the largest running and longest running tech trade shows in the world, and it's expecting its biggest year yet. And it also says, despite the tepid years of folding the recession, CES is back to setting records, and Las Vegas trade show remains the ultimate platform for thousands of companies to show off their latest, greatest wars with a blom of the arrivals of new this year. CES 2013 will be the biggest CES ever, with over 3,000 exhibits showing up 20,000 new products across 1.87 million square feet of floor space. The CEA, Consumer Electronics Association, the show that governs the body of CES, basically the people who put the show on, and that's a lot of stuff that here's what we can expect from the Earth's biggest trade show. So basically, the first thing that surprised me the most is the rise of startups. It says here Microsoft is in the early juggernaut bowing of the gadget extravaganza. Nokia, Dell, and HP are also skimming at CES this year, with the perennial no-shows like Google, Amazon, and Apple. This is necessarily a bad thing for the show that has been traditionally dominated by heavyweights like Intel and Sony. So a lot of big companies are dropping out with CES. I don't know if these companies really need these publicities. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to like develop their own press and try to just have the spotlight on them, rather than just have all the press surrounding by one phone or one carrier. I think they all want the attention surrounded on them. That's the one thing I didn't understand about why every company comes to CES, because they're always not going to get the attention center on them. It's going to be based around everything around them, and it's not always going to be about them. So I'm happy that some of these companies are leaving CES. Hardware is the new software, and that's what the Wall Street Journal reported in August. A new generation of Silicon Valley startups are turning their back on the web and actually making stuff now. In the age of Kickstarter, expect big ideas from bit part players like Pebble, a smartwatch, and raise $10 million from innovation perspectives. That can only be a good thing. This is going to be a big year for Samsung. It's all about Samsung. They're one of the biggest players in the Korean conglomerate. They recently been getting a lot of press with Apple because of the Apple versus Samsung thing that we heard about during summer. But let's see here. Samsung may unveil the S4, the Galaxy S4. I highly doubt that. I think Samsung has their own fan base now that they can announce it on their own press time. So I don't think that's gonna happen at all. But Samsung has a lot in store in this year, including unprecedented smart TVs. Check the teaser out. I guess there's a teaser, and even a steady or bendable phone display. Now that's something I really don't believe that's gonna happen yet. If so, I don't really think many people is gonna buy it. A lot of the things that I see at CES nowadays that comes with Android phones, eventually don't really sell well. They just do a number of sales, and then you really don't hear about them again until after CES, till they go on sale, like for $99. But I'm excited to see what smart TVs. I kind of want a smart TV that doesn't. You don't necessarily need to configure it. It's not as messy. I want like a simple interface and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see what they do with their smart TVs, and the designs for their smart TVs is quite good. So I'm excited to see what that has in store for them. And also, this also is gonna be the Ghost of Microsoft. The company is done with CES, but this company will be there in spirit thanks to the Lenovo, not Lenovo, the hybrid laptops and tablets type thing. The hybrid contenders in this year will be Lenovo, Asus, and other, which trying to desperately catch our attention in the post-PC devices that swivel, twist, and fold. Basically, I think all those companies said should make dedicated tablets running Windows 8, not making hybrids. Because if I want a laptop, I'd rather just run Windows 7 on it, because it's more geared towards a I guess you can say that's a more tablet-focused OS, I guess you can say. Smart TVs with subscriptions this year at CES. We can expect bigger, thinner TVs. If last year was all about 3D, this year is all about 4K, which I'm really excited about. I want to see 4K come to the masses, the consumer market, which means high resolution, sleeker frames, and more vibrant colors, which is always good in my eyes, which I can't wait to see. The flip side about this content is going to be expensive. There's also a rumor going around that Intel is making their own set-top box, which I don't really believe Intel can really do a good job, and not the type of company that I expect that to happen. I expect that to come out of a company like Motorola, or even a company like Logitech, or somebody that's been doing this for a while. But Intel, I really don't see that happening too much, since with their track record with Google TV. I really don't see that happening. But they do say, according to TechCrunch, the proposed service will theoretically allow consumers to watch the pick what channels they want and subscribe to them. When they can watch any content they want on those channels for paying $80 a month for 200 channels. You'll never get to watch, which believe it sounds great, but I won't believe it until they see it. I believe that too. And then the last bit of the article just says things we can expect out of the internet, new sites, new startups, just basically like that. So this year, I really do think it's gonna be a downer for me with CES. I'm not really too excited for it like I've been in years past. I believe since Microsoft isn't gonna be there, I think that's one of the reasons why. Because they were the biggest prize company that you would see at CES was Microsoft. You would see the new version of Windows, some Xbox games that are coming out, some new hardware or software. That's not gonna be there. With all these like Kickstarters and all these startups, I mean, they don't have the publicity or some of the products that appeal to me that makes me want to go and cover CES or go and see the trade show. But that could be surprising. The only really big thing that stands out to me is the Samsung part, which announcing that TV, which would be kind of cool, because I heard online, I've been seeing some teasers and some trailers for it. It looks like this TV that has like a really, really thin display that has an unprecedented screen, or a new way to watch TV with a new form factor, which is gonna be surprisingly really cool to see. Things about the Samsung Galaxy S4, like I said, I don't believe it's gonna be I don't believe it's gonna be announced that quickly. I think they'll wait a little bit longer, maybe towards the release of the iPhone 5s, or what Apple decides to call it, and that's when they'll probably try to steal press away from each other and do all that kind of stuff. But let's see what else it says here. Anything else worth mentioning? That another thing that they got here is there's gonna be a arrival of smart appliances, which means that they're internet connected appliances, which means internet connected refrigerators, interconnected toasters, or anything basically that you can get the internet, which would be really cool if you could get your news printed out on a piece of toast, which I think would be just plain old damn awesome. So anyway, guys, I am rambling on a little bit, but I'm not really excited about CES. There's a few things about smart light bulbs in here. That there's an app for that, which means you can plug in the light bulb to a normal light circuit, and you can control the color of the light with your iPhone. There's also gonna be a few companies that are doing gesture-based technology, which is really cool. Mainly focusing on facial recognition and eye tracking. A little bit more improvement towards voice recognition, but mainly I think they're gonna leave that until what comes out of Siri and other ways. But there's brand new ways to communicate with your machines. Another one is phablets are gonna be big this year. Screens having phones having 5-inch or 5.5-inch screens. So we just don't call it a phablet. So I wonder if there's gonna be a new way to connect with our phones or have bigger display phones. Another one is just talking about different automakers doing new internet connected stuff to their cars. The same with like Sync by Microsoft on some of the Ford cars, and just cars that integrate with the cloud, so you can have your documents or your music up in the cloud without you having to connect your iPod or anything like that. And of course, camera. The big thing that they say here is that there's gonna be the death of the point-and-shoot camera, but the rise of the Android camera. I think a lot of camera manufacturers are realizing how cheap it is to make a camera using Android and how much more powerful it could be. So I think a lot of companies are gonna try to do that now, which I'm excited to see. I really like the Samsung Galaxy S camera. I think that's a really cool device. If I had to get my hands on one, I would. But the only problem with that is that I want to be the camera that you use Android to be contract free. I think there only should be Wi-Fi. There's no reason for me to have LTE or even 3G on my camera just to share pictures. If I wanted to, I'll just pop on my SD card, stick it in my Mac, and to share via Facebook and upload regular. But I'm really excited to see what these Android cameras are going to do in the next year. So to end this video of A.Y.O.R. just a little bit, I know this video was kind of weird, but again, I'm still trying this out. And remember guys, when I said from the first episode, it's gonna be more of a vlog style show. So basically, I'm just giving my thoughts on what I think is gonna happen. But anyway, if I had to ask a question for you guys this episode, is that if you could, would you go to CES 2013? And if you did, what kind of stuff would you see? And if you didn't, what kind of stuff did you want to see? If there's any particular company that you wish was there that could show off some new stuff. But anyway, if there's a certain thing that I missed that you guys do want to mention that you are seeing in CES 2013 that you want to add, just leave in the comments below. But anyway, since we have just a few more minutes left, I guess I'll talk to you guys about the game a little bit. This game is not Assassin's Creed Revelations like it was in the previous episode. I did beat that game. That game was really good, really easy. I always find the Assassin's Creed games to be really easy for me. I don't know why. I found these games to be quite easy. Just the objectives are really easy. The implementation of the objectives is a little bit hard. You know, you have to find your way to maneuver through guards or get through a place undetected. You know, that's kind of like the hard part to it. But the objectives and all of this, what you have to do with the bare bones of the game is assassinate people. It's really easy for me. So this is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, by the way. I don't know if I said that right, but this is not Assassin's Creed Revelations like I said before. Like I said, I beat that, and this is just like the game before Revelations. I sort of played Revelations first, just the reason because you got to play as Altair and Ezio, and I really like the idea of having to play as the two assassins. I wish they would do something in the next Assassin's Creed game that you could play with Altair, Ezio, and Connor from Assassin's Creed 3. So that is kind of like a thing that I want in the next Assassin's Creed game. But anyway guys, this is coming up on the last few minutes of the video. I'm just sort of kind of doing a farewell here with me trying to beat this guy on the horse, but it's not really working that well. So yeah guys, like I said, leave your answer to today's question down below. Also check out the website ijuice360.tk. Next week should be interesting because this week I believe we're launching Phone Smarts, and then the week after it should be the 360 Rewind. So that should be pretty cool as well. So can't wait to check out those channels. Those links will be down below, as of course my link will down below in the description.